Are familiar with what a swatting call is. It's a fake 911 call that makes a report of a serious crime that's supposedly happening right then, with the goal of prompting a major police response. Our Marlo Lundak is on your side tonight, alerting you about how it's not only a local issue, but also a national one, and recently took aim at a former Nebraska state senator.
On Christmas morning, Lincoln police officers responded to former state Senator Adam Moorfeld's house. They got a call from a man claiming to be Moorfeld, who said he killed his wife and was then threatening his own life. But Moorfeld wasn't actually home, and after arriving, police quickly determined it was a swatting call. Those are fake 911 calls that seek to prompt a large police response. This isn't the first swatting call in recent weeks either. Just this month, it also happened at a home in Ashland. A man called the Ashland police station, claimed to live at a real home address in Ashland, and told dispatchers he just killed 2 of his 3 kids. Police tell 6 News the caller simulated gunshots during the call, too.
The randomness of it is a little bit concerning and shocking. You know, obviously these people had no idea that there was going to be such a law enforcement presence outside their home on a Saturday morning.
And in November, dozens of Omaha police officers responded to South High School after a call for an active shooting. The caller claimed at least 1 person had been shot inside.
Obviously, we'll look into where that phone call was placed if we're able to trace it and get any information like that. We have in the past had some success in tracing those calls back to other individuals and been able to prosecute them for other incidents as well.
Swatting is a national issue, too. And in order to tackle it, the FBI created a database to track and prevent swatting calls. In just the first month, they tracked nearly 130 of them.
Now, swatting calls are also often made to prompt responses to the homes of celebrities and politicians. In fact, just yesterday on Christmas Day, U.S. Representatives Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia and Brandon Williams of New York were victims of swatting calls at their homes, too. Back here locally, I've reached out to the Omaha Police Department to see how many calls they've responded to this year. They told me just minutes ago that they don't track them. The Lincoln Police Department says they've responded to at least 5. On your side in the newsroom, Marlo Lundak, 6 News.
Marlo, thanks. Millions of